This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. On the mothership in control of everything is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. You can always find us now at youtube.com/@MX3 podcasts. You can always reach us at mx3.vip, and you can always email us info@mx3.vip. Find us on all of the local directories that you find your podcast and where you listen to it at. And this last 7 days, a very, very big week for Money, Motivation, and Mike, as Jason had just given me the total before we come on the air here. And in the last 7 days, just on the podcast alone, not the YouTube channel, but just in the last 7 days on the podcast side, we have had 5,715 downloads. That is just astonishing to me that here we are we're 8 months into our show. We're in the high 30s, I believe, episode 38, 39, somewhere in there, Jason, and 5,715 downloads in the last 7 days. That's once again a clap for you, the listening audience. We've made great links. We continue to add for the YouTube channel, the YouTubers and also the podcasters too, but you can't see on the podcast, but you can envision this as you're driving down the highway, relaxing yourself with the information we bring to you. We've added one of our old buddies here to the table, which is the Houston Oilers original. And this is not the original helmet. This is the helmet they had before they moved in 1997 actually it was Memphis, Tennessee, then to Nashville, Tennessee. And remember that first year they were the Tennessee Oilers, Jason. But we now have the Houston Oilers helmet on our table, and we're proud to have that because I like teams that no longer exist. And fortunately, I was able to see some of these teams. Now, thinking about that part of what I'm saying, do you know anybody that's ever seen the Montreal Expos play? I have. I've seen them. I've seen a double hitter of the Montreal Expos, which are now the Houston Nationals. And those of you who are finally figuring out who I am and who we are in this show, we're kind of crazy about sports. But we're continuing to add to our table here. Feel free to send us one of your gifts. We would love to have it out here on this table because right now we have Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers, Oklahoma Sooners, and now the Houston Oilers, along with a lot of our movie stars, one of our favorite bands, Kiss, on and on and on. Of course, the best show ever, Godfather, and all four of the Corleones there. Nevertheless, we've been talking about taxes over the last 3 episodes, and we're moving into something else today. We're going back into health. We've had a few episodes on health, and frankly, this is a unique episode because the pamphlet I'm reading from today was provided to me by our friends at Wells Fargo. Yes, Wells Fargo put out a pamphlet that had zero to do with making money, had zero to do with the stock market. It was all about taking care of your health. As a matter of fact, the title is Taking Stock in Your Health. Pretty cool title, Jason. Life is a journey. Have some fun. That's one of their mottos. So I want you to think about these things. And obviously, if we don't take care of our health and the personal growth we get and the way we continue to increase our, hopefully, income and our net wealth and our assets and all those other good things, if we don't take care of our health, then those things really don't matter. And a prime example of that is mine and Jason's grandfather, who died at the tender age of 46 from a lot of different things, but a lot of it was to do with stress and not being able to take care of your health was one of his big problems, in my opinion. But here we are. One of their first subjects is unplug and unwind. How would you feel? Well, this is good stuff right here, Jason. How would you feel about spending 24 hours away from your electronic devices? No computer, and certainly no cell phone, no iPads, no nothing. We couldn't even run this show without our devices, Jason. We couldn't even bring this episode. But back on March 3rd and 4th, That was the national days. It says national days to unplug and observe it's observed the first weekend of March. Turn off all your goodies for a 24-hour period. And this year it was on March 3rd or March 4th. From sun up to sundown, can you do without your devices? I'm going to say no. And I don't even like all that technology, and I don't think I could do it. Big deal there. Computers, smartphones, TVs, video games, iPads, the PCs. Do away with it for 24 hours. And even though we're not on March 3rd and March 4th anymore, you set a goal. You try to figure out how to do it. See what you can do on the upcoming weekend. Go with it from 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon to 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon and see how you come up. And here's a bad habit I have, and I'm probably not alone. As a matter of fact, I'm one of these 58% of the folks who go to bed with their phone right in their face. As a matter of fact, I have dropped my phone into my forehead more than one time in my life. But is screen time in bed becoming a habit? Well, for 58% of us, it is. And Sleep Awareness Week is March 12th through the 18th. Matter of fact, we're right in the middle of it. And it's a good reminder to make sleep a healthy priority. And I've definitely fallen short of that. But the National Sleep Foundation from 2022 has found out that 58% of us use screens within 1 hour before falling asleep. Now, you may be sitting on your computer and working, go jump in bed, close your eyes, and that's within 1 hour. You're laying in your bed, you've got your phone over your head, which is what I do. I have it up there so much my arms start hurting. And then it finally, I'll fall asleep and it hits me in the head, and that's kind of like an alarm clock. But exposure to blue light at night stimulates your brain into thinking it's earlier in the day. Interesting. Keep all screens out of your bedroom and stop using smart devices at least 1 hour before bedtime. That includes falling asleep to a TV. Bad idea, a no-no. My goodness. Of the 54 years of my life, I've probably 80% of the time have fallen asleep to a TV. Nevertheless, you shouldn't be doing that. One of the things about coming to nutrition, and you're personalizing your nutrition. Nutrition advice is often standard for healthy adults. Okay? Eat more vegetables, choose more grains, and consume less sugar. I work real hard on the sugar. Unfortunately, I don't care for a whole lot of vegetables. And, well, grain's grain. Those are the things that they recommend that you do. The National Sleep Foundation and food disorders, because we have a lot of eating disorders as well. But eating, sleeping, resting, all big things. There's also a major subject called stuck with chronic negative emotions. You know how many negative people we have in this world, and it seems like we know them all. You feel like you know them all. Maybe you're kin to all of them. You certainly live close to all of them, and you work with all of them. I think you know what I mean. But negative emotions, such as anger, sadness, grief, fear, just are all normal parts of life. And you have to work real hard to overcome those things. I know I have had to in my lifetime for sure. But trying to get rid of that type of a thought process and an emotion first has to be acknowledged. You have to acknowledge you have maybe an issue with your negative emotions before you can deal with your negative emotions. And secondly, you have to find a safety valve to relieve those emotions, such as exercise or meditation, calmly walking, and not only talking to a friend, but talking to a trusted friend. We have a lot of friends. How many can you trust? How many is in Mr. and Mrs. John Q's circle? They're my friend. And as soon as you get out of their presence, they're talking about you. That may not be the person that you want to talk to about some of your negative emotions that go through your brain. I have had to have a therapist, and that particular doctors has helped me out greatly and getting away from those negative thoughts. But a big deal with the treatment is finding that hobby that allows you to escape from the rest of the world and give your brain and your mind a little relaxation for a few moments. And then, of course, last, whenever you're trying to figure out how to deal with your negative emotions, is trying to find yourself a mental health professional. They can help you the most. And we're going to have what I consider to be a mental health professional, my mental health professional, on this show in the very near future. And we're working on trying to find a date where that person can come into this studio and be right here as one of our live guests. So stay tuned for that, and I'll give you a heads up of when that person's coming and when that episode will be broadcast on MX3.VIP as well as our YouTube channel. So decompression, we all have to decompress. And another subject that I have had a lot of problems with, R&R is not typically something that I have spent a whole lot of time doing. But, decompression, as a matter of fact, this pamphlet calls it Decompression 101, and it's something that you should be doing every day, every evening. And a couple of the items are talking about how and ways to decompress. Number one, catch your breath and take a few minutes to breathe deeply and slowly. How many times you lose your breath because you get excited and you don't breathe? Breathing has always been a big problem with athletes, is in the heat of the moment, they don't breathe. And obviously when you don't breathe, you're exhausting yourself from a lot of energy and maximum performance. Calm down in water, which, means soaking in water. Maybe you're getting in a hot tub. Maybe you're doing something just to relax and improve your blood flow and try to reduce that muscle tension. Another thing that I try to do on a regular basis. And of course, going outside and smelling that air and relieving that mental tension as well is a good way. And hitting the gym and trying to get exercise 3 to 4 times a week into your daily routine. All these things can help you decompress, and it's pleasurable decompression. And sometimes people love animals. A lot of people love animals, and walking your dog and making sure that they're a part of your daily routine. And I know that plays a big part of a lot of people's lives. And which one of the items we've already talked about, which comes also in decompression, is disconnecting from the technology after your work, disconnecting from the technology when you get there. Understand that the glue is in a bottle. The glue is not on your hands and glued to your cell phone. Your eyes are not glued to your computer. Glue stays in the bottle. Make sure it does. Listen to some music. Read a book. Do something like that to help you disconnect. Big deal, and I have no clue what this even means. Take a staycation. Actually go home. Don't go on vacation, Jason. Don't put a plan together, because you know how vacations, you have to get off vacation to actually take a vacation. And they are saying that you need to take a staycation. Actually go home and do nothing for a couple of days. That is mind-boggling to me, but relaxing at home is something we need to do. As I understand it, sitting on the couch is not overrated. It's a big deal. Find you an Andy Griffith all-afternoon marathon. I think that will get you right where you need to be. Get a massage. Get a massage, a therapeutic massage. It lowers the stress and helps out in a great way. Now, one of the most stressful things that we do in life is we are people pleasers. The majority of the folks are people pleasers. And like I say, this is Wells Fargo Advisors that sent me this little pamphlet that I just think is got some great information in it for sure. But people are people pleasers, even to their detriment and even to the negative. So people pleasers are often well liked because they pay so much attention to making others feel as easy and happy as they can. But in the extreme, this pattern can make your needs a welfare secondary, meaning it's not important. So let's find out if you are a people pleaser. There's 10 questions that you have to ask yourself. Here's the first one. Do you often agree with others in conversations regardless of your own true opinion? Yes or no? Number 2, do you often apologize when something goes wrong, even though you know it's not your fault? Yes or no? Do you typically say yes to every request for a favor, even when you don't even have time? Yes or no? Does your self-worth go up or down depending on whether you feel you have the approval of others at any particular moment? Yes or no? Do you avoid conflict at all cost? Yes or no? The people you can push around right there, Jason. Do you put off self-care, such as hobbies, exercise, medical appointments, going to the dentist, because you are too busy taking care of others? Yes or no? Do you change the way you act based on the behavior of those around you? Your eating habits, your drinking habits, your smoking habits. Do you change to just fit in, even though it's not you? Yes or no? Do you often feel responsible for other people's feelings? I know I have. I have many times. It's yes or no. Do you feel taken advantage of by others? Yes or no? And number 10, do you frequently feel burnout or resentful from all your helping and giving to others? Yes or no? You resent the fact that you just helped them, even though you said yes, you could have said no, you were in control, you said yes, and then you resent them after you've done it. Now, number one thing is, tomorrow they're not going to do that for you. Now, that real true friend may be doing that. If you got that call in the dead of the night, would they be right there by your side? Okay, there was 10 questions. You should go back and you should re-listen to those questions. If you answered yes to 3 or more of those questions, just 3, you're a people pleaser to your detriment. My goodness. You know the old saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And I think that is big time. And I know a lot of those people. I have been one myself. But on the other hand, when you speak out and you disagree, this is our society. When you disagree with somebody, when you disagree with the crowd, then you're a troublemaker. Then you're a hothead. So there's another misconception too of you don't have to agree with everybody. Disagree. Agree to disagree. So forth and so on. That's just a little bit. There's quite a few other things in here, and maybe we'll come back to this in a later episode. But thank you to our friends over at Wells Fargo for sending that out and giving us some good stuff here on taking stock in your health. Probably the most important thing. Well, it is. It is the most important thing. Much more important than making money, because you need that health to be able to make that money. You need that health to be able to have that personal growth. We continue to try to bring good stuff to you as we always do, and I believe we are doing a pretty decent job of that with the fact that 5,715 people listened to us over the last 7 days, excuse me. I mean, that, Jason, that's on a pace for 22,000 people over the next 30 days. And I never thought 22,000 people would ever listen to me doing anything I've ever done. So I feel very, very blessed and very, very fortunate to be in that situation. Once again, as always, you can find us at mx3.vip. You can email us info@mx3.vip. And of course, our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3 podcast. For everyone who's been a part of this one, and until next time, live your life the right way.